This week I'm going to try to make a cooler diorama. That was a bad intro, but I only filmed one take, so I cut up the cooler. It was just a cooler that I had, and I cut to be a door on one side, but I cut it in the wrong side, so I cut off a piece of that to use it as a, well, kind of a pillar, and then I put the rest of it back together. And so that's the pillar piece, and that's the room that I'm gonna try and make. It's like a museum, I guess, from one episode of the 87 series TMNT. This is spackling. It's used to cover like small holes in walls, so I'm using it to do my walls, to cover all the like styrofoamness of the styrofoam that this cooler is made out of. And then I'm cutting a hole in the top to be for the light that I'm gonna put in, and it's just a dollar store flashlight, work light type thing. Yeah, I guess it's a work light. It's got a hook on it, and I'm going to use the hook to be like the antenna of the TV, because I was going to put this in the recycling and I thought it was pretty big for the recycling. Maybe I could do something with it, and it looked kind of like an old classic tube TV, but it was a lot of mess, and it took a lot of grinding and cutting with that knife slowly so I didn't hurt myself. And then this is the ceiling. I cover that with the spackling just to make it smoother. Now I need a cannon, and I had, well, I don't know if it's cannon or like a rocket boost engine or something, but I had this thing from like a Build-A-Toy of something, I don't remember, but it's too big, so I'm making one. I have some straws there. I'm making a display case that's just like the packaging from something. I need a stand for the gun, but I had like a silicone straw and then a regular straw, and now I have toothpicks I cut up, and one went in my coffee, the top of the toothpick, but I had sanded that dowel down so it could be like on an angle, and then I'm trying to make a tripod, but it's not working out so great because the glue is not really holding the two round toothpicks together. But I keep trying, and I give it some more time for the glue to dry. I try again, and it's not really working out, but we almost got it. It starts to hold, but then I tried to straighten it out and then it broke off again, so I'm going to get at that later. First, I'm cutting some more tongue depressors to be the base for the display case I'm building. It's a museum. And then I cut out some 2mm foam and glued the wood down and fold the edges over. And I cut out the corners so the edges fold over nicer, and glued everything down together. I'm not going to glue the glass on. It's not glass, it's plastic. I don't know what came. It was just some sort of packaging and some little wood pieces for the legs. Now it's some more 2mm foam, but this has kind of a design of lines on it, so I'm wrapping that around the plastic straw that was sticking out, and some extra pieces to give some more detail to the cannon / rocket engine. And this is a fatter tongue depressor, and I cut some pieces off that because it was a little too low. I wanted to raise it up, and so those work as my new legs, and I just attached them to the other legs. And I'm drilling holes, and I cut a dowel into 4 pieces. I drill a hole in one side, and that's a push pin that I'm using, and it's going to be for a railing. And I glued 2 pieces of wood together. They were round, and now I sanded down to make it look curved, because in some of the pictures I got of this room, it has like a rope banister, I guess you would call that. Some of them don't, depends which angle. And so this is a cocktail skewer, but it's a flat one. And I got them because I want to use them to make swords. They're great for like a rapier, or you can make a regular sword out of it. But because they're flat, the glue holds them together better, and it was easy to make the tripod using those. Much better than toothpicks. Now I'm using a sanding block. I used a lot of materials that you would use if you were fixing a wall this time. And there were some axes on the pillar that you can see them there. So I made those out of, just cut out some 2mm foam, and those were toothpicks. Then I start to paint the base. It's got a red platform, or at least some red on the platform. I painted the whole platform red. And then I painted all the banister poles. I feel like they have another simpler name that I could use that I can't think of. And paint the, I guess, rocket launcher or rocket tube black. Then I mix some white with the black to get a gray, because I want gray for the axe heads And yeah, I was looking at the cooler and I thought it looks like an old TV, and that's the type of TV that, you know, I watched the 87 series on, and if they watch TV it would be that kind of TV. So I thought that I should do a scene from there, and it's not big enough to do like a sewer layer or something. I'm adding silver now and doing some dry brushing of silver, and I'm going to glue the cannon. But I looked online for some pictures, like something I could do in that small box, and I thought that would be cool to just do that scene, yeah, from the museum. And I colored this with marker, but I have a white pencil crayon. I'm just adding some more white accents to it. Now I'm cutting out some foam for the frame of the pictures. Yeah, so I just drew the pictures that were on the wall in there, just basic, kind of cartoony. Now I mixed some brown and yellow and white to get this color. It was a little darker than I wanted, but I still went with it. Then I remembered I forgot to add the trim on the top of the ceiling, or top of the wall connecting to the ceiling. So I did that on all the walls and then cover them all with this like dirty orangey yellowy brown color. And now I have tropical blue, and then it was too light, so I went with an ink spot. Then it was too dark, so I went back with the tropical blue. No, I think I started with neon blue, but then the third time I go with the tropical blue. This is 2mm foam. I cut some sections to be tiles, large tiles on the floor like you see there, and I glued those all down, and I put some toothpicks to help hold the walls on the sides. I finish up, that's an actual piece of metal that I just glued on the top there, and then glued that down. For the banisters, that's a red suede lace. It was the only like red kind of material I had at that thickness. And I cut out the pictures, add some white details onto the axis, and I got some green in there, but I painted that white because that's where the light's going to shine down from. Now for the floor, I want to do something different, so I have resin, and I poured resin on, and I try to smooth it out as much as I can so that there'll be like a shiny floor. It won't look like just foam. And I have the lights, you have to keep clicking them, but they're UV lights, and that dries the resin eventually. And I should have put this stuff on before I put the walls in and finished the floor, because I could have got them straighter, but their turtles are fighting someone, so the pictures shook on the wall. I have a little square piece of wood I made for a power button, and then a bottle cap for the knob. I guess it could be the volume, or it could be change the channel. I only put one, so on the side there's some space that's where the volume is, and that one changes the channel, or that's where the channels are, and that one that doesn't matter. This is it done. It looks like a TV. I painted it brown, and I did, like, before I went on with the brown, I just did a bunch of random black lines to look like wood grain. So I've gone for like at least 150 weeks straight, and probably 50 of those were 2 videos a week. I'm gonna do my best to try to take 2 days off, so if I do, then there won't be a video next week. But until the week after, thanks for watching, and remember, always keep your head up. Peace.